It's really cool. All right. Looks like we're live now. So it's 4:30. We're going to get started. If I didn't get to your question on this kind of like pre-webinar time, don't worry. I'll be able to answer all the questions toward the end of this webinar. And I'll try to get off a little bit early off the training so that I can answer more questions this time. So just throw your question in there and I'll be happy to answer it, guys. And it's good to see some of you guys, other people who just joined. It's good to have you. All right. So if once again, we'll post here in the chat room on the top my last webinar, just the link to the YouTube, to the YouTube link to that last webinar. And feel free to follow that. You can actually go in later and watch, what we covered on Wednesday. And then you should actually be able to, we'll open up like a channel where you can actually watch all of the webinars that I've given so far, just in case you need to get caught back up to where we're at. But what we've covered already is the first week we covered the watches and scans. Second week we covered these border features. On Wednesday we covered the scans tool, color linking, and the chat feature. And so those are the things we covered already. What we're going to be covering today is actually paper trading. I'm going to teach you how to set up paper trading, how to integrate your broker, and then how to execute trades and just kind of like what the tools mean. And then we'll get into the Screener Plus feature. I'll quickly go over that. It's going to be more of a basic training for the Screener Plus. We're going to actually have in another webinar, we're going to have a more in-depth training on the Screener Plus feature because there's so much to it. But I'll be giving you a basic run through of the Screener Plus feature. And then I believe, let me see. And then also we can go over tip ranks if we have time. So we'll get into the trading first features, and then we can get into the Screener Plus. And then after that, if we have time, we can get into tip ranks. All right, we'll get started. So once again, if you have questions, throw them into the chat. I'll be able to address them a little bit later. Cool. So first thing to do when you're opening up a paper trading account or a broker account, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to want to come to the setting icon on the top right corner, go to the drop-down menu, and then go to this area called Connections. And in Connections, you actually find the trading module. So this is going to be the first step to setting up your paper trading as well as your broker integration. And for you new traders that are not sure what's the difference between those two. So paper trading is actually setting up a fake account. So it's going to be fake money. It's going to be something that you can customize, set up as if it's your own account. And then you can actually follow the market in real time and trade. And it's going to follow the same rules as the broker does. So if there's not enough trades, or if the stock doesn't hit the price, or there's some factor that normally the trade wouldn't execute, it's not going to execute on the paper trading. So paper trading is going to follow. It's going to follow very closely like a broker would with the market, and it's going to operate the same way. But it's an account that lets you practice. So it's really cool, especially if you're new to trading. You can really start testing some of the things you're learning by using a paper trading account. Broker integration is going to be actually integrating your broker onto the StocksToTrade platform. And depending on if you have money in your broker already or how much, is going to allow you to trade on StocksToTrade. So it's basically just integrating the broker, and then based off of the information or the money you have in that broker, you can actually trade directly on the StocksToTrade platform. Now, the trades are all going to be executed through your broker. We just allow StocksToTrade is kind of an open door where you can execute the trade quickly, just right there in front of your face with your broker. All right, so we'll get into it. As I show you these things, it's going to make a little more sense what I'm saying. But in order to set up your broker or your paper trading account, you're going to need to go to the settings, then trading module, and then log into trading module. You have two options here. If you haven't set one up yet, you have this login option right here. And if you have set one up, you're not going to have that option anymore. And in order to kind of reset it or get this option again, you're going to need to reset your trading module. But since we haven't set one up yet, we'll log in first. So when you do this, it actually, the first thing it does is pull up the trading module login right here, and it has you pick 3 security questions. And so these security questions will apply to the trading account. So that's your broker integration and your paper trading. So these will apply to both. So and know that you can't just kind of BS these questions. You have to put in like real answers that's going to tell. This won't submit through correctly if you don't put like actual sentences or words in regard to the question. So this says, what is your favorite place to visit as a child? We'll just put Texas. Oops. All right. And these aren't my actual answers. I'm just putting them in. So high school did you attend to? We'll put like GOHS. City you were born in. We'll put San Diego. Or here you go. All right. So now we're going to submit. And if you get this right here, where it says, please select a safe and private location to store the PDF file with your security questions and answers, that means you did it right. That means they submitted correctly, and you're not going to have any issues in the next steps. You press OK, and it's going to actually allow you to save those answers on your computer. And you'll receive an email with those answers that you saved, just in case you need to go back and find them if you've forgotten them. I won't save them onto my computer, but you have that option. If you feel like, oh, I'm going to forget these, then you can save them. But you actually don't have to put these in every time you want to log in. They're just for setting up the paper or your trading accounts for StocksToTrade. So I'm not going to save them, but you can. And then the next step you're going to do is actually you're going to go to, so if you already haven't, you're going to actually go to a new tab. So you're going to click the plus symbol right here and open up a new tab. Then you're going to go over to where it says accounts. Click on accounts, and it's going to open up the account management. Now, as you can see right now, I don't have any accounts. I don't have a paper trading set up. I don't have a broker integrated. I don't have anything yet. So what I need to do is go to add. And so then it gives you 2 options, broker integration and add paper trading account. So let's add a paper trading account first. Now it's going to give you the options to sign into a paper trading account if you already have one existing, or log in. We're going to log in, or sorry, we're going to actually, I got those mixed up. Sign up is going to open up a new one, and log in is going to log into an old one. So we'll do sign up. All right. But just example 3. You're going to, put your name in, put a username in, and a password. And realize these passwords they don't have to be the same password for StocksToTrade. This is specific to this paper trading account. So the password can vary from your login password, and that's the same with like your username and this information. So this is all just customizable. You'll be able to select it and, call it whatever you want. The nickname is going to be for when you are actually looking at, if you have like multiple accounts linked to here, you're going to want to, put a specific nickname for that. We'll click sign up. And now you can see we have a paper trading account in our account management. I'm not going to be integrating a broker, but what you would do if you wanted to integrate your broker is click on the plus or the add, then go to choose broker. And you can see our current list of brokers we offer here on StocksToTrade for integration. We have Tradery, E-Trade, and IB. So these are the 3 options we have. We're going to be adding more soon. And if you don't see your broker on there, you can request it. We're happy to look into it. The more requests we get for a certain broker, the more we look into adding it. So if you don't see your broker, it can't hurt to request it. You also have the option to learn a little bit more about broker integration if you're not really sure how it works. And then you can see right here, now my scaling's all messed up because for doing these webinars, I have to reduce the the scaling and reduce some things. And so it's cut off, but typically you would see kind of like an offer that Tradery offers, and you can just contact them, let them know you were looking at it through StocksToTrade, or you can click on this little link and they have a pretty cool deal going on. But if you have your other broker, you just click on it. Let's say you clicked on E-Trade. You would just sign into your E-Trade account just like this. As you can see, I have an E-Trade account. I would just put my password in, and then after I put my password in, it would give me a confirmation, just having me, accept the terms to integrate it. And then after that, you would just wait. Sometimes it can take a little bit of time. I know Interactive Broker sometimes has like a period where they have like an authorization period. And so you might not see that one right away. And it really depends on the brokers. The brokers are the guys behind all the rules for the integration. They're the ones that have the rules with your trading, depending on how your account's set up on those different areas. We're really just the open door to be able to trade on. But that's how you would integrate your broker if you needed to. And once again, if you are having issues with integrating your broker, just hit us up at support. We'll be able to look into it and see if it might be on your broker side, or if there's anything we can do on our end to help get that integrated into StocksToTrade so you can trade directly from here. Now we're going to only be showing the paper trading, all my trades and stuff that I'm going to be showing you today. Broker integration is going to work basically the same as the paper trading. There's only going to be a few differences, which I will point out. But we'll go to the next step with this paper trading account. So as you can see, I have right now, it's the broker's paper trading. If you had a broker, it would give the broker name. Account number is, it's on my nickname. It's example 123. Available cash is 30,000. Buying power 30,000. And then, the margin, realize I haven't made a trade, so these are all at 0 currently. Now, the reason we default these paper trading accounts to $30,000 in buying power is because we immediately put you over PDT. And if you're not sure what PDT means, it is pattern day trading rule. The pattern day trading is a rule set in place that basically doesn't let you day trade more than 3 times a week if your account is under $25,000. So if you don't have at least $25,000 in your trading account, then you're considered to be under PDT. Now, PDT only applies to margin accounts. If you have a cash account, the PDT rule is not going to apply. But you're going to run into the similar issues you're having with PDT, because it's only going to let you trade on settled money. And the money usually takes about 2 business days to settle. So if you're trading a large amount of your account on a single trade, you might not be able to use that money again until that money is settled. So that's that's a cash account. So if you're using a margin account where you can trade that money right away based off a margin, and you're under $25,000, you're going to be under PDT. So just keep in mind that rule, because it's very important, especially if you're new to trading. If you exceed those 3-day trades a week, you could get penalized, and they might give you a warning. They might give you a second warning, depending on your broker. And then I think by the third, usually in most brokers, by the third time you violate it, they suspend your account for, I believe, 90 days. So you don't want to be stuck in trades or anything like that if you get your account suspended. So just make sure you understand that rule. Look it up, PDT rule, pattern day trading. And no, I'm going to show you the difference I'll explain the difference between a day trade versus like a swing trade, because like a swing trade won't apply to the PDT. It's only for day trading. So the reason we put that 30,000 is to just automatically kick your account over PDT so you can day trade as much as you want. But what I would suggest doing if you're using this as, an example account to really test yourself, to go to this edit option, then go to update account and customize it to look more like what you would actually use. So let's say I have $5,000 to trade, and that's it. So what I would want to do is set my balance and my buying power to 5,000. Oops. 5,000. And then commission value, if your broker uses commission, let's say a lot of brokers are going commission free, but let's say you do have a broker that does commission. I remember at one point it was like $10 a trade for, I think, E-Trade. So let's say you have a commission. Let's say the commission is like, I don't know, $2 a trade or something. You can put that in here to kind of look more like your broker would. Commission type, you can do like per trade or per share. I know if you're trading like penny stocks, there are a lot of brokers that do like a penny a share. And so just if they feel like they're taking risk with letting you use margin, they might, I've had this happen to me on a broker before, they might charge a penny per share for all OTC stocks or all penny stocks. And so that's really important to put in there, especially if you're trading, because if you buy a lot of shares on a really small penny stock, you could end up paying a lot in commission. So just be aware, those are some examples of some things that you might want to put in here. And then if you want to make it even, more realistic, you can enable delays. And so that's going to follow. If your broker would typically have a delay or anything like that, you can enable it here. Partial execution. So that means if you don't have it selected as partial execution, it's always going to try to execute when there's enough shares. So let's say you're trying to buy, 20 shares of a certain stock, and someone is selling it at the value you want to buy it, but they're only selling 5 shares and not 20. It's not going to execute that position until there's actually 20 shares available at the price you're asking for. Then it's going to execute, where you can go in here and select and actually do partial execution. So that's going to execute it, that 5, they'll execute the 5 shares. And then when there's more available, they'll execute more and more. That is important because those are, considered trades when you execute them. So some users or some people might not want it to execute partially. They'll only want it to execute when it, there's enough available shares for the stock you're either trying to buy or sell. So that's an option right there. PDT restrictions. So you can technically not be on PDT on paper trading if you really want to. If you're just like, I just want a day trade with 5,000 and, and not be restricted on anything for my paper trading, you can do that. But I would suggest following PDT restrictions, because if you have a broker, you're gonna have to follow PDT unless you have that cash account. And I'll get in a little bit into the benefits of a cash account or the benefits of a margin account and kind of, what's the difference, and maybe just give you a little bit of information on the two of how you could use them, just as suggestions. But anyways, once you have it set up completely, just click update. Now you can see my account's all updated and we're ready to trade. So I'll close this. This is account management. Like I said, this is where you'll set up and manage your trading accounts. The next thing I'll show you real quick is the activity monitor right here. This activity monitor is where you're going to actually look at what's going on with your trades, or what you've been trading, what you're holding, just your trade history. It's all going to be right here in this tool, the activity monitor. The account management is only for setting up and managing the accounts. The activity monitor is where you can actually follow what's going on, or check what's happening with your accounts. And I did show you this tool on the first webinar, or maybe it was the second webinar. We went over this tool right here. This is another place you can actually see this information right here on the sidebar. You just come to this trading tool right here, open positions, and you can see some of the basic information about positions that you might have open right here on your sidebar. And you can actually select certain brokers or all brokers. I only have a paper trading on there right now, but if you had multiple accounts, you could customize that to only see, what you're holding on your E-Trade account versus your E-Trade, paper trading, and IB account. All right, so that's another place you can find it, but we'll come back to this once we actually execute trade. It is after hours, so we'll have to see if we get a trade execute or not. But All right, so let me close this out and now get into the trading tool. So it's going to be a little intimidating if you're new. These charts have, these charts have a lot going on. There's a lot of tools here. I'm going to be covering these tools in later webinars, so don't get intimidated by any of this stuff. I'm just going to be showing you the trading tool or the order tool on this total view setup. So you can kind of, if you have questions about this other stuff, I will be going over them in a little bit, or in a future webinar. Now, I might give you some basic information about like times and sells in level 2 just to explain how to use the trading tool, but I'll get more into detailed on those tools later. So we're going to actually just move. Let's hide our sidebar just so we can have more room. All right, and then I'm going to actually move my head. There we go. That way we can see this tool. All right, so where you're going to go once you open up a stock is you'll actually go to the order tab on the info tab. So this info tool right here, you'll go to order. Now, if you want to see it all, you can actually, pull it out right here. We'll pull it out just so we can see the whole thing. See, my scaling's all messed up, so it's not. There we go. All right. So now we can see the whole entire tool. Let me move my computer a little bit so I can see it as well. All right. So this is where you're actually going to make your trades, is in this tool right here, this order tool. So the first thing you can do is come right here. This is where you can select the account. So right now we have our paper trading selected, but if you have your broker integrated, you can go in here and actually select which account you want. So, we're going to keep it on example 123. It's the only account we have on here. As you can see, it's going to tell me my equity. So equity is set at $5,000. Total profit and loss, position value. This is all going to depend on if you have an open position in the stock. So currently in ACB, I don't have any open positions, so these are blank. But if we do open up a position, then there'll be information here. Now let's actually go to a stock that maybe is trading after hours more. Let's see if this one, and here's a little pointer to you new traders. If it's a listed stock, meaning it's not an OTC stock, over-the-counter stock, it allows after-hour trading. Now, if it's an OTC stock, it actually doesn't allow after-hour trading. So I'm not going to pull up any OTCs right now because nothing's trading. You can see there is some trades going on right now with Amazon, and that's because this is a listed stock. So it does allow trading after hours where OTCs wouldn't. So that's just kind of a pointer on why I'm using this stock versus another one. Okay, let's expand this again. See, my scaling's all messed up, so it doesn't tell me whether I'm hovering over or not. Come on. There we go. All right. So as we went over, if there's any open positions, that's where you're going to see right here. Right above here where it says last, this is just referring to the last price, meaning the last price the stock was traded at. So you could also say it's the current price of the stock. So right there is a quick button that you can actually click that's going to change right here to be the last price. It's just like a quick tool to always get back to that last price if you ever need. Then right here on the trading tool, the trading bar, you have options to buy the stock or sell the stock. So by clicking sell, it's now set to sell versus buy. So there's two different ways you can trade it. You can go long or you can go short. So going long is buying the stock. The goal is to buy the stock lower and sell it higher. And then you make the difference between what you bought it at and what you sold it at. And that's like the goal, right? That's the goal of going long. Now going short is the opposite. You're actually selling the stock and then you're rebuying the stock back And that difference right there is what you profit. And shorting is a little more complicated or difficult to understand, but basically you're borrowing shares from your broker. So your broker is actually giving you shares of the stock to borrow. You're going to pay your broker, a small fee. It could be a reoccurring fee, depending on your broker, but you're going to be paying a fee to borrow those. And then you're actually going to sell those shares to another trader. And then when you're ready, you're actually going to buy those shares back and then give them back to your broker. And that's how you short versus going long. Long, you're just buying the stock, you own the stock, then you sell the stock, you no longer own the stock. So I hope that clarifies the difference between going long versus going short. Now in StocksToTrade, if you want to go long or you want to buy the stock, you click on this buy right here. And to open up your position, you're going to want to buy the stock first. Now, if you're trying to go short on StocksToTrade, to open your position, you're actually going to sell it. So you're going to sell the shares, and that's going to open up a short position versus buying. So that's how you actually short on StocksToTrade. I know some people are curious how you do that. You would just sell the stock or sell the shares to open your position versus closing your position. But we're going to go long, so we'll buy the stock first. Next option right here is going to be the amount of shares you want. Now, Amazon is a big ticket stock. It's a very expensive stock. And so we'll put like 10 shares here. Well, we can't even do that. So we'll just do, since we only have a $5,000 account, we'll do 1 share. So we'll just try to buy 1 share. Now we're going to come over to the order type. So this order type is going to give you options for 3 choices here. Now this is where the broker integration versus paper trading vary. Paper trading is only going to give you a limit, market, and a stop order. Broker integration is going to give you limit, market, and stop, and then a stop loss. So I'll explain those, but just know that that's where the difference is going to be when it comes to your actual broker that you're trading on StocksToTrade versus your paper trading. And so it's just going to give you more options for your trade. Now, limit orders is, I would say, the most common that traders use. And basically you're saying, right now we have it buy, so we want to buy the stock. You're saying, I want to buy the stock at this certain price. And so you're saying, if it doesn't, I only want to buy the stock at this price. And so that's a limit order. And so what I'm saying here is now I want to buy the stock, and the goal if you're going long is you want to buy cheaper and sell higher. So we'll say the stock is currently trading at $3,289.78. I'm going to want to, go lower than that. So I want to buy at $3,000. We'll say $200, $3,200. That's where I want to get in at. And so now I'm setting my limit order to that. And basically I'm saying I only want to get in if it hits that stock. Now here's where people will get confused. And if you're getting lost, don't worry. Just, contact us at support@stockstotrade.com. Maybe we can explain this a little bit better. But I'll try to explain it the best I can. Sometimes people get confused with limit orders. Now, limit order doesn't mean it's only going to execute at that price and nothing else. That's not what limit order is. Limit order is it's going to execute at this price or better. And so what I mean by or better is the stock right now is at $3,289. Let's say I put my limit order in for $3,300. Now, my broker or my paper trading account is going to say, well, if you're trying to go long on this position, meaning you're trying to buy low and sell high, I can get you a better price than $3,300 because the stock is trading at a cheaper price. And so this order is actually going to execute like a market order. It's going to execute right away at the current price. It's not going to actually execute at $3,300 because my broker is saying, if you're trying to go long on this position, I'm going to give you a better price than you're asking for. Where if I'm trying to buy at $3,200, there's not a better price. Right now, it's not a better price being $89 over that. And so now it's going to only execute at that price once that price is hit. So I hope that makes sense. Some people get a little confused. They put a limit order in, they put a higher price than it's currently trading at, and then they're not sure why the stock executed not at the price that they selected. And that's just because it's going to be this price or better. So I hope that makes sense. So that's limit order. And it's the same with selling. If you're trying to sell the stock, it'll be the same thing. It's going to give you that price or better, which is going to be the opposite. It won't be higher versus lower. It'll be lower versus higher. Next one is market order. Now, market order is it's kind of like the oh crap order. Like I want to get in or out of this stock right away. It doesn't matter what it fills at. Just get me out or into this stock. That's how I see market order. It is a pretty common used tool, especially on fast moving stocks, but you don't have a lot of control on what you're getting. And that's because market order is literally going to fill at whatever stock it's selling at. So let's say you're trying to buy the stock. Now this is where I'll do a little bit of explaining of level 2. So I'm just going to move these tools around so we can see them better. So here we go. Level 2 right here. There are bids and asks. And the way I would basically, for you new traders, let me give you a little kind of summary or what level 2 is. If you ever go to Facebook Marketplace, I don't know, or some other type of place where you're selling your private stuff, people start negotiating with you. So you'll say, hey, I want to sell this chair. I posted up for $20. And then you're going to get people messaging you going, hey, I'll buy that, but only for $15. And then you say, how about $17? And then you guys agree. They come over, give you the cash, you give them the chair, everything's good. So I would say level 2 kind of works that way. What's going on here is people are making bids saying, I don't own the stock, but I want to own the stock, but only if you sell it to me at this price. Where the asks are people that own the stock saying, I will only sell this to you, but only at this price. Once that agreement is made, once people come to the same agreement in price, that's when the stocks are exchanged or, the transaction is made, and that determines, the current price of the stock. If that was a little confusing, I apologize. But that's basically what level 2 is. And so level 2 plays a role in here because if you put a market order in, it's going to execute. Let's say I'm trying to buy the stock. It's going to say, well, someone up here is selling or asking. They want to sell their stock. They want to sell 39 shares, but they're trying to sell it for, looks like, let's see, 89. Here's the math, right? So it looks like 11 cents higher. They're trying to sell it for 11 cents higher than the stock is currently trading at. That's where it's going to execute at, because it's going to say, I can get you that stock. Market is saying, I can get you that stock right away, but it's going to be at the asking price. And so you're not going to get the lowest price. You're actually going to get the current highest price of that stock that's been executed. And so that's what a market order, and the same with selling. So if you're trying to sell this stock, they're going to say, well, someone over here is willing to buy your stock, but they're willing to buy it at 56 cents instead of the current 89 cents, right? And so basically it's going to execute that lower price. And it will do it. It'll get you out or in of the stock really fast, but it's always going to execute you at either, a higher or lower price than it's currently trading at typically. So there's just kind of a little info about a market versus a limit. A stop order is going to work just like a limit, but it's actually set to only submit at that stop, versus the limit is like the best versus, it gives you like that price or more. The stop is going to be, like the limit, but it's specifically for that. And then the stop loss is going to be, let's say you're in a stock and you want to set it to sell at a certain low place. Let's say you're like, man, I don't, here, let me, okay. You're saying, man, I don't want to, like, I have to step out for a little bit, got to go do something, or I'm looking at other stocks. If this stock starts, tumbling on me, I want to get out at this price. This is the price I want to get out at before I'm too late. And so that's what you would set as a stop loss. Now, it's not going to, a limit order is going to just submit it no matter what, because it's going to say, oh, I got a better price for you. But a stop loss is going to just put it into place so that it's kind of like a net. It's going to put that into place so that if that stock does hit that price, if it does start tumbling down and hits that price, it will execute at that price and nothing lower. So that's what a stop loss is. It's literally in the name. You're just trying to stop the loss. So that's what a stop loss would be in terms of setting. So a lot of experienced traders actually will come in, buy a stock, set a few stops. It doesn't mean that they're trying to, get out of the position right away. They'll just they're setting those stops just in case. And then, then they'll watch the stock. And if it does what they wanted to do, they'll take their gains and then they'll get out of the position, and that stop was never used for anything. But they still have that stop in place just in case. So that's another common used option, or you could say order for traders. All right, so I hope that made sense, the difference between those. Now, right here above here, this little box is referring to level 2. The level 2 here, I'll go back to the limit order so we can see the price. So level 2, if you do not have level 2 added onto your subscription, this is not going to be in real time. This will only show you real-time data if you're paying for level 2 real-time data on StocksToTrade. Now, my account does have that, so I can use this tool as I'm trading. And like I said before, if I'm trying to buy, I might want to join the bidders, the top bid. I might want to join them so I can get it at a lower price, but I'm not like lowballing way too much to where it's going to be hard to get into that stock. I might want to just join the bid right away. And that's that's the price I'm going to try to get in with one share at, because I still want to be, higher up on the list to get my order filled, but I don't want to be spending too much for it. I still want to get, a cheaper price than the stock is currently trading at. You can actually use this tool real quick. Just click on the bid. It's going to give you that price for your limit, and you're ready to go. And the same when you're selling, if you're like, man, I want to sell it, but I still want to, do the better price, and I still want to be at the top of the list. I want to try to get rid of this stock sooner than later. You can do that with the ask. You just click on the ask. You can see it automatically submits that price in there. So that's what this tool is used for. You can actually range it on the top right here. So you can go mid. If you want to go right in between the two, you can do that as well. And you can kind of play with that if you want, as far as like prices go between the bid and the ask. So that's what this little box is for. Now this price right here is where you can actually select your price. You can do auto if you want, or you can actually just find the price, or you can just double click it, highlight, and then type in the price you want. So that's how you would select the price. And you would want to base it off of, the bid and the ask. That's what typically traders will look at when they're trying to get in and out of stocks. Unless you just have like a set price in your mind, like I'm only going to get in at this price, or I'm only going to get out at this price, then you can put that in. So now this last box right here, the order preview, this right here is going to give you the preview of what you currently have selected. So I'm trying to buy one share at $3,289.99. And so this order preview right here is going to tell me currently that's going to cost you that much to do the one share. How many shares? You're only asking for one. Price per share. It's what the current price per share is, or what you're going to get it at. And then and these are going to change. So like the price per share is the same as the value right now, because I'm only buying one share. If I was buying two, so let's put 2 in here. You see, now the value is at 6,000, but price of share is still going to show you what the price of the share is that you're trying to buy it at. Now, I don't have enough money in my account to do that. So I'm just going to keep it at 1. And then cash after trade. So it's saying I'm going to have $1,700 and $1,710.01 after I submit this trade. If this trade goes through, that's how much cash I'm going to have left in my account versus the stock I own. So that, and let me just show you something real quick. Let's say I was trying to short this stock. You're going to see the cash after trade is actually $3,289 higher than the 5,000. And that's how it works, is because technically you're selling these trades and getting money in return. And then eventually when you close the position, you're going to give the money back for the shares to give back to your broker. So it's going to show you kind of in the reverse form. If you're selling it, you're going to have more cash, but you're also in debt shares, if that makes sense. So you have to get those shares back eventually and give them back to your broker. But for the time being, you have added money because you sold stocks to people. So that's why that cash after trade is going to be higher than what you currently have in your equity, and because you're shorting. And that's a good way to indicate whether you're actually opening up a short position or closing it. If your cash after trade is higher than your equity, then you might go, oh, I'm actually opening up a short position. I'm not actually buying this stock, or I'm not actually selling the stock I own. So there's a good little indicator to tell whether you're opening up a short position versus just selling a stock that you might own on StocksToTrade. Now, not only, this is kind of like the order preview box. Once you're ready to submit the order, let me just go over this real quick before we go to submit. But once you submit the order, it's going to actually do more confirmations just to make sure you want to make that trade. But this right here, this little box is going to give you the day or GTC. So day means that this order is going to last today. Once the day's over, this order is going to disappear. It's going to cancel itself out. It's no longer going to exist if it didn't fill. GTC stands for good to cancel. So basically the order will be active and live until I go in and manually cancel it. And so just know that those are two different options. I believe on our broker integration, there is another option. Just hit me up at support if you want to see what that looks like, or integrate your broker. And if you see another option, I just slipped in my mind what's on there, but just go in there or hit us up at support and we'll be happy to explain what the other option is. But for the most part, you're just going to have this day and good to cancel. So we'll just keep it today to cancel at the end of the day. Let's say I only want to get in that stock today. And if it doesn't execute, then, I don't want to executing tomorrow on me on accident. Then when I'm ready to submit, I click submit. And it's going to give me the last confirmation order. So, it's going to give me one last step to just kind of review everything, make sure I want to do this. And if you don't want to see this again, if you feel like this is interrupting the speed of your trade, you can actually, don't show this. You can select this, or you can actually go to your settings. I got to close this out first. You got to go to your settings. You can go to your trading tool, and you can actually deactivate your confirmation order submit. Right there, it's going to, get rid of that step if you don't want to see it. But, it actually, give me 1 second. Knocked it off to the other screen real quick. I don't know why. I got to mess with the scaling, guys. Sorry, I apologize. Here we go. Now I got to get to the new screen. There we go. All right. So yeah, let me just put that in again. This is back on ACB. It's fine. We'll just do this. So we'll do the bid. And just for the sake of this order, let's try to get it. We'll just do a market order. Submit. And then we'll click yes. So now it's going to be pending. It is after-hour trading. So paper trading is going to really work mostly on intraday trading. So I wish I was running this during the intraday so you guys could actually see, it execute and stuff. But since it is after hour right now, it's not going to execute. And so it's going to remain pending right here. So pending just means, that it's an open position or an open trade. It just hasn't submitted yet. It'll say complete once it's actually gone through. It might just not have gone through because there's no trade. So let's try to do Amazon again. All right. Yeah. So I apologize. You can do after-hour trading, but typically, there's just not enough action. I honestly don't suggest if you're new trading, you trade after hours. You can, if you're on one of the chat rooms with one of our gurus, or you're connected with one of the guru traders or mentor traders, I would talk to them about it. They'll be able to give you a little more insight on why. But there's just not a lot of volume. It's not very safe trading, in my opinion. Now you can see my trade was executed here. You can see it said completed. Now it's telling me I have one share. So position, I have one share. The position value currently is at $3,090 or $290. My profit and loss right now, I'm currently 50 cents lower because I bought at market, right? So it's submitted on that the ask price, right? It's submitted at the ask price, and like I said, I wanted to get in. I wanted to get in quick, but it's going to cost you right at the beginning, especially if the stock's not going up, to potentially already be at a loss when you get in or out of that position. So, I'm already at a loss because I did a market order, and now my equity is a lot lower because I just spent, the difference of that 5,000 on this one position. And you can come to the chart. You can actually see the little arrow that's showing me where I bought at. And we'll zoom in here real quick so you guys can see. So yeah, you can see since my limit order went through, I bought at the highest point of this candle because I was the one that, brought this candle all the way up here by doing my market order. So that, if you're wondering how these candles work, it's because people are buying or sharing the stock within those price ranges within that minute or whatever the candle time frame is set to. In this minute right here, it looks like I was probably the highest buyer as far as my paper trading goes. Obviously, this isn't real money, but it's still, like I said, going to work as if you're buying from a real broker. But you can actually highlight, you can actually hover over the little arrow. It's going to give you some basic details about that trade. And it's a good little indicator on your chart of oh, I bought here. And so now, let's say I want to sell it. I'm going to take a little bit of a loss here. I'm going to do a market again. I'm going to submit, press yes. Now I got to wait for there to be volume. It executed. You can see I sold it a lot lower. I took a little bit of a loss here, but you can at least see red means buy, green means buy, red means sell. That's the same if you're shorting. Red is still going to be selling. It's just opening up your short position versus green to buy it back. But these are two little indicators right here for your trading tool right here on the chart. Now, if you don't want to see these, you can come up here, hide them, show them, hide them, whatever you prefer. Another area that you might want to see this stuff at, like I said, I went over this order tab. You can go to this open positions. I no longer have any open positions, so it's actually not going to be there. So we'll actually show you that again once I open up another position. But we'll go to the activity monitor. You can actually see what I did here in the orders. So I sold, I bought it. Well, I still have that pending. I still have that pending buy order on ACB, I think. Yeah, I still have it. You can actually come in here and cancel that at any point. Let's say I want to cancel that order. I can cancel it before the day ends or whatever you have it set to. But you can come back here in the activity monitor. You see I still have that pending, so it's not actually executed. When you get this blue check mark, that means it actually went through. If it's green, it means it's still pending. Now, I bought Amazon. Here's all the information about that. I sold it. It gives you even the time. Trades, it's going to tell you what your trades are that day. the actions you took, the quantity, etc. It's just going to give you all the information about what you did on your trading. Summary, it's going to give you a small little summary about that trade. And then open positions is all going to depend on your actual open position. I closed the position already, but here we'll open one back up just for the sake of looking at this. Do another market just to get through. Let's give it a second. There we go. So now let's come back here to this activity monitor, and you can see I have one share of Amazon in my open positions, and just it's telling me I'm going long, so I'm not actually going short on this position. I'm going long, and then my entry price, and just all the basic information. And then now let me show you the orders over here. Or sorry, not orders, open positions. So it's going to tell me I have, I have an open position with my paper trading account for Amazon. Cool. So that's, basically the information. This little trading side tool right here is this order tab. It's like the same tool, but just right here on your sidebar. And if you want to see like these boxes right here on your sidebar, you can actually add them here. You can go in here and add them. Review this when I went over this tool in one of the older webinars. It's now going to make sense now that I taught you actually about the trading tool. All right. So I think that really took up all our time. Wow. So that one tool took up our whole time. So I'm actually going to now start answering questions so we can get to that. And we'll just have to cover the next tools that I was going to cover today on next Wednesday. But let's see. Someone said, when you pop up a screener or a scanner, a ticket from a watch list, is it possible to alert? Okay, we already actually answered that in the pre-market or the pre-webinar. Can I see other webinars? Yes, they're all recorded. So you'll be able to actually go back and watch those. We'll post the last one up here on this chat room, but you can we'll make like a playlist on YouTube where you can review all the webinars in the past as well as this one to rewatch. Do you have S&P 500 in StocksToTrade? No, we don't. We don't do the S&P 500 here. You have like your SPY and other stuff, which actually you can see the SPY right here. So you can do the SPY right here. Do you have available cash over PDT but change the buying power from 2000 in paper account? Sorry. Let me reread this. Can you have available cash over PDT? So what you would do, technically we don't have, like on our paper trading option, we don't have the option to run it like a cash account. But what I would suggest doing, and I remember I was going to go into this and explain this to you guys. So let me just take a second to explain it. So PDT on that margin account, margin is basically shares the broker's given you. It's kind of like extra money or extra cash to buy stocks with, right? And so the broker's actually taking a risk by giving you that margin. And let's say you have unsettled money, you're going to use margin to continue to trade. So you can actually trade on, say I have this $5,000. I can buy and sell a stock, even though technically that money isn't settled yet. I can keep using that $500 versus a cash account where you're only using that $500 or $5,000. And so if I use up all that $5,000 today, I have to wait 2 days before I can use it again. But here's how some traders do it. This is how some new traders who have small accounts that want to make multiple, kind of want to get into day trading. This is a way that they do it. Now, I'm not saying this is the way you should do it. This is just, kind of a little bit of, information really. Like I'm not a guru trader. I can't, advise you on your trading, but let me just kind of give you a little bit of information that might help. So a cash account, a way you could use a cash account, let's say you have, I don't know, $10,000 in your cash account. You can actually you can plan it out to where you only use a certain amount of money a day to day trade. That way you always have money in your account to continue to day trade throughout the week. So let's say I'm only using $2,000 today, and I do 2 positions at $1,000, that's 2 day trades I did today. And that, a day trade is you bought and closed that position within the same trading day. So that's a day trade. That's what's considered a day trade. If I bought and sold it tomorrow, that's not a day trade. It's not considered a day trade. It's not going to go against your PDT. Just know that that's different than actually buying and selling within the same trading day. So that's the rule right there. You buy and sell the stock within the same trading day, it's considered a day trade. That's what's going to, you only have 3 of those a week as PDT. That's what's going to go against your PDT versus buying a stock, selling it another day. But yeah, back at cash account. So let's say I open those 2 position, $1,000 positions, close them out. I only use $2,000 of that $10,000. So now I have $8,000 still to trade. And the next day I still have that $8,000. I trade 2,000 more. Then the next day I still have, 6,000. And then after that I have money settling. So now I'm back up to 8,000, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a way that you can kind of get more day trades in. And not be under that PDT is by, using cash account. So that's why some people would use a cash account. But just know that your money could, you could actually end up using that money or more than that money you needed to, and you could get stuck in positions. Because if you don't have settled money, you actually can't sell. You can't sell your stock without money settled. So there's some times where you actually get stuck in stock. You actually get stuck in positions of selling, which they do have rules on cash accounts too. If you call your broker, they can force close that trade. But just know that they're going to also do kind of like a 3 strikeout thing, where it's like they give you 1 warning, they give you a second warning, and it's because you're trading on unsettled money. And then your 3rd warning is pretty much the same consequences, breaking the PDT. I think they just suspend your account for 90 days. So there are rules against cash accounts as well, but some users will use that. StocksToTrade, if you're trying to do like a cash account setup for your paper trading, what I would suggest doing, we'll go back to account management. Oops, that's tip ranks. Account management. We'll go back to edit. So what you could do, update, I'm just going to deselect PDT, get rid of PDT altogether. And then what I'm going to do is I have to be proactive to think, I already used $2,000 today. I can only trade with 8,000. So you would just have to kind of keep track of like the money that you've been using and just kind of say, okay, after 2 business days, I can use that money again. And you would kind of have to keep track yourself, but you could get rid of the PDT restrictions and then operate it like a cash account. Excuse me. So yeah, that's kind of the difference. Let's see. We have other questions here. Do you have to have cash in your account to do paper trading? No. You can set this up with no money. You can come in and customize it as much as you want. It's just a tool for you to use. It's just another tool, just like all the other tools we have. It's a tool for you to become a better trader, to really test yourself out. You don't have to have anything invested as far as money goes into your paper trading in order to use it, other than, being subscribed to StocksToTrade, the tooling in order to use it. All right. Sorry, it says, I understand in your example, you have 30,000 there. That is STT put in. Yeah. So STT, we default these to 30,000 just to push people over PDT on their paper trading account, just to like give them, like, you could say a real day trading account, beyond PDT. But most users aren't beyond PDT. Most users are under PDT, which is typical, and which is fine. And when I say users, I mean traders. And so it's fine to go in there and edit. You really want to utilize this tool in the best way for yourself. And so it's good to kind of go in there and put realistic numbers in. You can go and just, put $100,000 in there and just have fun with it, and just see how you would do if you had that money available to trade in your account. You can do that as well. But it's all up to you. Is there auto indicator that will add a horizontal line to show you previous day close, open, high, low, or do you have to do it manually? So what you can do if you come to a chart, so in order to add, like, let's say the previous day close, you actually right click on the chart. You'll see the toggle close indicator. By clicking on this, it's going to give this previous day close line. This is just like another indicator. And let's say you want to do, you did previous day close, high, low, high and low. The previous day high and low aren't, they're not going to be indicators directly on, like you can actually add to your current day like you can with the previous day close. But if you actually go and just hover over that day, you'll be able to see like info up here. And also you'll see right here by clicking on the previous day, it actually just gave me previous basic data. So if you want, there's no default option for those, but I'll show you the default to keep this previous day close. The default is you just really have to come down here and click the previous day if you want to see previous day data as far as it goes, like high and lows and stuff. But when it comes to this tool right here, you can actually set the toggled line, which is the previous day close line. You can set this as a default. So you can have this appear on all your charts. Now, if you guys are a little confused, if you're new, don't worry. I'm going to be going over a lot of this stuff in the future. It's just, I'm going to answer these questions just for people who are familiar with these things. But yeah, so what you would do, you could come, now my scaling is all messed up. I keep running into this issue. There we go. So you come over here, you can save this. It says save current period and internal as default. Let's do that. Then we're going to come up here, right click, and we're going to save current view as default. And then now when I open up a new stock, CAN, I'll do this, another little cannabis stock. You can see it defaulted. It has that set as a default, that previous day close onto that chart. Another cool little thing you can do if you don't want to see these on all charts, but you want like one click, is another little pointer. You can actually come to your indicator drop-down menu. And once again, guys, if you're confused about all this stuff, don't worry. I'm going to be reviewing it in more detail in the future. But here we go. So we have this option called sets. You can go to user, and then you click on that, load. I got to set an indicator first. Sorry. So you set it up. You can do like, let's say I want my view app, I want my toggle line. Let's just say I want those two, right? I just want my, previous day close and my view app. I like those two indicators. I don't want to see them on every chart because some charts don't have view app because it doesn't have enough trades to calculate it. But I want it on, those specific charts I like. Then you can come back to here, go to sets, go to users. We're going to save indicator as, and then we're just going to put it as, I don't know, view up / close. Then we're going to do OK. Oh, not going to let me do that. View up stays close. Let's see if it lets me do that. It doesn't let me do spaces. All right, we'll just do view up close. Yeah, now let me do it. All right, so then I'll come back. Let's say I go to a different stock. Any stock, do Macy's. And then let's actually clear out. We'll turn off the toggle line quick. I can come up here and I go back to those sets, go back to user, load indicators, and you'll find my view up close. Click that, bada bing, bada bang. There you go. You have that indicator set up right there. And so it allows you to where you don't set it as default for every chart if you don't want to see it, but it gives you a one-click setup instead of having to go back, add view up, add that, add this, especially if you get like some complicated setups. So I hope that answered your question. But as far as like the previous day open and close, yeah, you'd have to click on this previous day option at the bottom. But that is how you can like default things. All right. I think, yep, we're at time. Let's see. Thanks everyone for tuning in. If I didn't get to your question, tune in next Wednesday. So next Wednesday is the next webinar. And, come with that question or hit us up at support@StocksToTrade.com. We'll be happy to answer you there, if you don't want to wait till next Wednesday. But next Wednesday, we'll be going over some more of these tools. We'll actually be going over some of these others that I didn't hit on here. So we'll, get into the Screener Plus feature, and we'll do tip ranks as well. Actually, if you just tune on to the registration page, you'll see what we'll cover. But I might have to add some things that I didn't get to today. But thanks again, guys. Have a great weekend. Study up. Enjoy your Mother's Day. It's a great day. Celebrate our mothers. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thanks.